So this is the Newbie Bloggers. It's how to create and actually monetize a blog post. So I just want to go over, I've got my coffee here all set this morning. I know it's 10 o'clock on a holiday weekend, so welcome for that. I want to go through the list of what we're covering. First of all, it's 6 steps, and we always start with what our blog name is. And of course, that's a whole process. It says, how do I get out of the chat to be in the group? Damian, I will click you again. It's promote to be panelist, and you have to accept that to come on over. Yeah. Yeah, so she's going to be joining. Very good. Did I say your name correctly? I have no idea if I'm saying that correctly.
It's Damien.
Damien. Okay, very good. Thank you for
Simple
that.
and easy.
Very good. Yeah, I'm making that harder than it was.
Yeah,
okay.
Everyone thinks it needs to be exotic, but it's not.
I get it. I get it. So we still have Carolyn and Nini in the audience. If either of you want to come up, let me know. Okay, Nini says make her a panelist as well. Okay, so she's going to come up now. Okay, so that just leaves Carolyn. So Carolyn, let me know if you want to come up. We'd be happy for you to join us as well. And Lisa Yee, I think we had you. Lisa, yeah, Lisa, we've got you up. All you have to do, Lisa, you're already there. All you have to do is you can click your video and your audio so that we can see you and hear you. You simply have your audio and video clicked off. It's in your lower left corner.
This is Nee. It's just Nee, not Nini.
Okay, just Nee. Okay, very good.
And I'll be on audio only. Thank you.
Okay, that's perfect. Not a problem. All right, I think we have everybody now up that wants to come up. And Carolyn, it's just you that we have over in the chat. So let us know if you want to come up, Carolyn. All right, so we actually go through 6 steps. And so we start at the top with our blog name. And with the blog name, we talk about all the things that we want to blog about. We make a list. We see what's the common thread. We try to narrow it down into that overall feeling of what we want our blog to be about. And then we start thinking about what name we want it to be. And so I'll give you an example is that I started wanting to do passive income, but I like real estate, I like writing, I like traveling, and I thought, oh, what's the common thread on all those things? And I'm just giving you the short version today because we do this twice a year in January and in July. And so I came up with freestyle living for mine. So you can see how I took all of those things, decided that what folks really want is they want freedom. They want the passive income so that they have freedom. They're not after the passive income, they're after the freedom. The passive income is the way to have the freedom. And so freestyle living is how I ended up naming my blog. So that just gives you a quick example of what we go through when it's time to come up with a blog name. Deb just joined us. Deb, I'm going to invite you to come up. You can click through and come on up with us if you wish, or you can stay in the chat, whichever works for you. Anyway, then in February, and then again in August, because we go through January through June, and then we start again July through December. So in February, and then again in August, we talked about platform. What platform are we going to actually use? What platform are we going to put our blog on? Now, I'm going to oversimplify it for those of you that haven't started yet. It's just a website. Your blogging site is just a little website. You can pick a free one. If you already have a website, you can create a blogging page. Don't get overly confused about the platform. It's just a little website. And all you need is a little 3-page website. You just need your main blogging page, your About Me page, and a Contact Me page. So you don't have to get real involved. And if you've already got a website, like I said, you can just add a page to your existing website and make it your blogging page. And that's the URL when you open up that page. That's the URL that you're actually going to advertise if you want to actually advertise the blog itself. So don't get overly confused about platforms. And then now this month, again in March, and then again here in September, we're talking about customizing. And customizing is not a really big deal. Linda, thank you for that. Linda suggested that I make us a couple of folks the co-host. And so, yes, thank you for that. Sally is officially my co-host, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But yes, I will make a couple of you co-host. And if any of you are going to do a Zoom call, make a co-host, because if you get bumped out, your co-host can let you back in. You know how I was letting folks in? Yeah, you got to have somebody to let you back in if your Wi-Fi bumps you out for some reason. And yes, it has happened. So, so anyway, then we talk about customizing, and that's our topic for today. And customizing simply means another word for branding. If you are already in business somehow, and you are already selling something, or you're already promoting something, or you already have a website, you want your blog to look like it goes with what you're doing. You don't want it to look like it's two separate businesses, if in fact you're using your blog to help promote another business, if that's how you're going to monetize it. And then, of course, we talk about promoting. Next month, in May, and then again next month, we're going to talk about how to promote the blog. And we're going to talk all about how you can guest blog for other people. You can have people guest blog for you. That way you can borrow their audience and they can borrow your audience. And or you can put your blog out across social media. There's all kinds of ways that you can promote your blog, and we'll talk all about that. And then finally, we talk about how to monetize it. So now you've come up with your blog name. You've decided what platform you're going to be on. You've made it match whatever other businesses that you want to connect it to or refer back and forth with. So you've customized it. Now you're writing and publishing, you're promoting, and now you're ready to monetize it. And one of the gals that jumped in today said she already had a blog and she was interested in how to monetize. And so to monetize, again, 101 ways, and we've got a bunch of articles about that I'm going to show you how to get to those. But once you're ready to monetize, you can have affiliate links. You can sell products right through your blog post. You can refer back to courses that maybe you've created. You can set yourself up to be a speaker. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you can monetize your blog. So the question for today that you have to ask yourself as we customize, and so this is going to be the question of the day, is your blog the product? And do you want everything to point to your blog? Is that going to be your main product? Or are you using your blog to point to your product? Are you using your blog more as an advertising tool for folks to get to know, like, and trust you? So that's the big question for today, if you know that answer. So Sally, I'm going to start with you. With your blog, is your blog the end product, or does your blog point to a product that you're trying to promote?
My blog points to a product I'm trying to promote.
Okay, so this is our perfect segue. Sally is my co-host co-mod for this blogging group. And Sally, share with everybody in the group what it is that your product actually is and how you're using your blog to promote it.
I'm a travel agent. I own a travel agency called Mermaid Travel. So the end product is, of course, selling travel. So, and I've had some response to people. I have a place where they can sign up and get back to me and ask about certain trips. The blog is more about my experiences, whether it's in travel or life. It's called Embrace the Unexpected. So I talk a lot about travel and embracing the things that happen when you're traveling. And some of I just talk about my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty, it all ties together.
So you can see what Sally did is that she thought about early on about the blog name, and she wanted to blog about not only her travels, but also things in her personal life, because a travel agent is not what she does. A travel agent is who she is. And when you're self-employed, oftentimes you're always working, yet you're never working. And I'll explain that for those of you that say, what in the heck does that mean? When you're self-employed, you seem to always be working, because if you go out to dinner, somebody will go, "Oh, Sally, I've been wanting to call you because I need to do this trip plan, and I just, now that I see you, and it just, reminds me that I need to talk to you about that." So all of a sudden she's working, even though she's out to dinner. But yet, when she's on a trip and she's seeing these amazing places, she's never working, because this is who she is. And so when she came up with her name, Embrace the Unexpected, she can weave everything into that blog. You see where she could list all the things she wanted to talk about, and she came up with a name that just kind of encompasses everything. And so now her platform, once she creates her blog, she wants it to look kind of like a travel blog, because she is a travel agent. So she can kind of customize it to kind of match what she does. And then she is actually using her blog to promote her travel business. And folks that find her blog get to know, like, and trust her. And once they see how real she is, and how she's just down to earth, and she's talking about common everyday things that we all go through, we're like, that's who we want to work with when we're going to invest those big bucks to do that cruise, for example. And so that's how Sally is using her blog, and that's how she's monetizing it, is she's pointing folks back to her travel business. Linda, how about you? Tell us a little bit about your blog name, how you came up with it, and what it is that you're doing.
My blog name is I Choose Abundance, and I was so fortunate to get ichooseabundance.com. Can't even believe that happened. And it's the overarching theme of many themes that I do talk about. I love talking about living positively, having a growth mindset, going for financial freedom and time freedom, using tech selectively, not slavishly, to make your life easier. And another part of that is being able to bless your family by thinking ahead now and making your preparations so that when you pass, everything is in order and they can be free to be in the moment and support and love one another and remember you, instead of being thrust into a lot of anguish. And that one pillar of I Choose Abundance is my course, The Legacy of Love Project. So it all ties together.
And so again, you're using your blog to actually promote your course instead of your course to promote your blog. So your course is your end result, and your blog, you're using it like Sally is, so that folks get to know, like, and trust you, and get to know a little bit about who you are, and that you know your stuff, so that they go, yeah, I'm definitely going to invest in this course with Linda because she knows her stuff. So you see how Sally and Linda are both using their blogs, and I use mine the same way. My courses and my masterminds are my main products, and I actually have my blog to point folks back to my courses and my masterminds. And so I can blog about all those different things and just embed a link in the blog. And so again, I do want to say this, for the most part, whenever we go on a search engine anywhere and we decide to look up a topic, and I like to use this one because it's just so down to earth. And I have never looked this up, by the way, but I probably should in my world because I don't cook at home very often. But let's say you want to know how to can tomatoes. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to search how to can tomatoes, and what comes up on all of the search engines most likely are a bunch of different blog posts. And you're going to click through those articles, and you're going to read a couple, and you're going to finally settle on one that you like the voice. You like how they communicated the information you're wanting to know. Maybe they gave you this perfect step-by-step process, and you're like, okay, here's the one I'm going to follow. And then when you click through and you realize, oh, they have all kinds of blog posts, when to plant my tomatoes, and how to make sure my tomatoes are healthy. And all of a sudden you're subscribing because you're like, okay, I'm starting to know, I'm starting to like, and I'm starting to trust this particular person. And next thing you know, you're clicking through and subscribing. Now, as time goes on, they say, oh, here's where I get all of my canning jars. And then you're thinking, okay, I'm canning tomatoes and I have to go get canning jars anyway. I might as well, if this is where this person says the best place to get them, why reinvent the wheel? Next thing you know, you're clicking through on a link, and maybe it's an affiliate link, maybe it's something that they're actually manufacturing, but whatever way it is, you're now spending money with them. They are now monetizing that blog post because you got to know, like, and trust them. And now you're clicking through and you're ready to spend money wherever they suggest you spend money. So does all of this make sense to everybody so far on how it takes time? This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. And you have to like to write if you're going to blog. Which I'm assuming if folks are here, you feel like you have a message of some sort that you want to put into a blog. So I don't want to put anyone on the spot, and please feel free to pass if you'd like. But we're going to go over to Lisa. And Lisa, you said you already have a blog, and so I'm assuming you already have a blog name. You already have what you want to blog about. Tell us a little bit about your blog and the name and how you came up with it, and are you using that blog to point to other products, or is this your end product?
So I am talking about gluten-free traveling.
Okay.
And so, I don't know. I have some stuff about travel, some stuff about like food choices when going to different locations. I've done one recipe. I was thinking I could do some more of like recipes of within the travel component. And so my blog name is the GF Sojourner.
Okay.
So how I came up with it. So the GF has to do with gluten-free. Sojourner, I was living in Spain and will be going back there shortly. And so a sojourner is a person who does not live in their native language or location.
Okay.
And then so I point to, I have an Amazon affiliates, but that's the only thing that I have an affiliate program with.
Okay, so your blog post, you're trying to monetize the blog post with these affiliate links. So let me ask you this. Are you thinking that you want to point everybody to your blog, or do you want your blog to point everybody to another product or service?
I guess I haven't thought to that extent. A lot of my articles, like I give them like resources for traveling or like locations to eat at. So I guess that is causing them to come to my blog, but I'm not.
Okay, so right now, okay, so right now it sounds like your blog is where you want folks to come to, because you want them to land there and read about you and get to know, like, and trust you so that they start clicking through. And it sounds like right now, the way you're monetizing your blog is with affiliate links. So the only thing I would suggest is all those references and referrals that you're giving inside your blog, go over to all those websites and see if they have an affiliate program. Have you done that yet? And okay, see if they have an affiliate program, because if you're recommending those folks, you want to make sure that either, number one, they have an affiliate program so that you get paid for your referrals, because that's how you're monetizing your blog, or you want to make sure that they recognize you over time, that you're sending them quite a bit of business. And so you might want to try and connect somewhere within their marketing department, depending on what the company is. And the smaller the company, the more likely that you can build a relationship with them, where you may not get an affiliate commission, but you might get some mentions on their website if you're promoting them, which would then in turn help, the tide rises all ships, as they say. So there's some ways that you can work with some of those companies, even if they don't have an affiliate link. But a lot of them will have an affiliate link and you just aren't aware of it. And so do a little research there, do a little digging. And if they do, get that affiliate link.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I've forgotten how to pronounce your name again.
Damien.
Damien. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your blog? Do you have a name yet? What are you thinking? Where are you in the process?
I have nothing.
Okay.
So I'm just starting. I had actually been on one of these webinars in May,
Okay.
and I just stumbled across it while I was waiting for my husband to finish up his hip surgery.
Okay.
So I just stumbled across it, and I kind of just like tucked it back into the back corner of my mind. And it's like, you know what? Let me revisit that. So I'm revisiting. So I'm still trying to figure out what I need to do.
Okay. Well, for you, yes, and congratulations on coming on board today. So for you, I would start making a list of everything you want to write about. Just make this big long list. Don't leave anything out. If you want to write about the dog, if you want to write about the kids, if you want to write about travel, if you want to write about your job, put everything on the list. And then try and see what kind of a theme, what kind of a thread goes between all those things on your list.
I
And
think I have I have a kind of a theme. It's all vintage purses, accessories. But I
I
just want to
remember
make
talking with you.
I
Yeah.
want to make a more comprehensive list of what I want to talk about.
Okay.
I don't want it to be scattered. I want it to be really focused.
Okay. And then once you find out what you want to write about and you've got that thought, now I want you to take more of a 50,000-foot view of that for a name, because I don't know about you, but I always underestimate my growth. For you gals that know me personally, you're going to laugh. I started a salon and I called it All About Nails. And within 2 weeks, a hair girl wanted to come on board. And I'm like, but the name of the salon is All About Nails. So I had to rethink my name like within 2 weeks of opening. And I did, and I reopened under All About You Salon Suites, which then opened it up to more more stylists, and then I had massage therapy, and then I eventually added tanning, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness I did that early on instead of after I was in business for 10 years. So my point is don't think too small when you're coming up with a name. Yours could be something even if you like if everything's going to be about vintage, it could be My Vintage World. Could be a blog
Well, I
name.
want to also, when you were talking about if you want your blog to be the product, I want my blog to point to products, because I want to sell vintage purses
Okay.
and
Then I
accessories.
would, yeah, then I would have the word vintage in there somewhere. But because you like vintage purses, my guess is when you're out traveling around, you probably are attracted to anything vintage. It probably makes you pause anytime you see something vintage. And so that's why my recommendation would be to have, and again, this isn't carved in stone. This is just a suggestion, something along the line of My Vintage World or My Vintage Life or something along that line, so that when you're out traveling, so you could blog about anything vintage and then bring your blog back around to the purses before you end the blog. But
Okay.
what it does is it allows you to tell a lot of stories to attract your readers instead of just always about purses. Because if you have a person that says, I would never purchase a vintage purse, but I love vintage furniture, I love touring these vintage houses, all of a sudden they're going to pass on your blog if it's all about purses and that's the only thing you're writing about. So if you take that 50,000-foot view and name your blog something a little more general, but still vintage, you're going to attract a lot more readership.
Okay.
And who knows, that person may not buy a vintage purse, but somebody in their circle certainly might.
I'm much more into like the history of purses and the companies and how they started.
Okay.
So that's and I really like hardware, as far as like how purses are built and made. I don't travel a lot, but I like that whole, like, I guess because I always was like had engineering mind. it's like, I really like how things are built and made, and that's what I like to read about myself personally.
Well, and funny you should say that, because I have the Caraway Guest House, which is a bed and breakfast in my home, and I ran across this beautiful trunk. And so I started researching the trunk, and it was the early on invention of purses and travel bags and all kinds of things vintage, but it started with a steamer's trunk. And so again, I suggest that you make it my vintage life, my vintage world, my something along that line, and then you can talk about all those things and how they tie together and the history of those things. And yes, your audience is out there. I love that stuff too. I've researched this trunk. It's crossed the Atlantic like 8 times. I've got all of the shipping labels, and I put it in the parlor of my guest house and put a glass top on it, and it is my coffee table in
That sounds
my
cool.
Caraway Guest House. And yeah, it's was all about steamer trunks, and the company now makes purses. So
Oh,
so
that's really
anyway,
cool.
so
You happen to
that's
know the company name?
I have all of that history. So yes, we'll talk, but you get the idea, see? And so I could talk all about the history of that trunk and end up with a blog post about the purses they're making today.
That's cool.
So
Great
does
idea.
that make sense? Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, that's my suggestion. But yes, I remember talking with you before. I love your whole concept. I love your idea. And now, are you actually selling the vintage purses?
I'm not selling, yes and no. I have started selling some more designer type purses on a site called The Real Real, which is like luxury designer stuff, but I tend to buy more of the vintage designer things. So I've started to sell with them to see how that goes, to see if they're, is there a spark or an interest for things like that? Because it truly, it breaks my heart to think that vintage is now like 80s stuff.
I know.
It's like I was in high school. It's
I
like,
know.
that mean I'm vintage too?
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've started doing that. And a couple of people that I've dealt with on this company have given me some suggestions for selling like some of the more non-designer, but really vintage, like,
Okay.
1900s up to the 1950s. They've given me some suggestions and information. It's things they don't deal in, but they've tried to help me figure out some things.
Okay. So have you thought about a name for your blog at all?
Yes and no. A lot of people call me a vampire because they say I don't age. So I was thinking about the Ageless Vampires Vintage World.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people just like, you're just like an ageless vampire. And I think, vampires
But
live
see-
for how long?
But see,
Forever?
you have that vintage world in there. See, so you have opened yourself up that you can talk about. You can talk about the aging process. You could just exactly what you said today. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that 80s stuff is now considered vintage. And I was in high school in the 80s. I mean, that would
Yeah.
make a great blog post.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Christine, how about you? Would you like to share?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Sorry about the lighting, ladies. There's not a lot I can do about that.
Well, that's because you've got more light behind you than you do in front of you.
I know. And I've even tried using the Zoom backgrounds and it doesn't work. But
Well, if you put a light right on your face, a ring light, or even a table lamp right in front of you, as long
I
as
didn't
the
even
light in
think of
front of
that.
you is brighter than the light behind you. That's all you need to do to make
I appreciate that recommendation because I bought this green screen that is so hard to put up and put back
Yep.
together. Oh my gosh. So thank you for that.
Yes,
So
I just have a little table lamp in front of me.
Yeah, so I've gotten as far as my WordPress, my Bluehost, and my domain name. And
Okay.
I got my domain name before I bought your course. And so I did go a little bit against the grain with your advice. I just chose christinebaker.net because
Okay.
I spent over a year stewing over what kind of domain name I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted. I wanted to leave it open-ended in case I wanted to change my mind about what I was going to blog about. So as far as the question, as far as whether or not I want the blog to be my main business or point people to my current business, I was thinking, but when you asked that question, I was thinking to myself, I don't know, maybe a little bit of both. And I'll explain. I'm a pain specialist here in Columbus,
Okay.
and I want the blog to be wellness and chronic pain relief tips that people can do on their own in their home.
Okay.
And I was going to do that with a combination of sponsored ad posts and affiliated marketing because I have zero interest in physically handling product.
I understand that. Yes.
Yeah. And so that's what my aim is. And it's going to be a combination of practical pain relief tips as well as mindfulness, such as meditations and things like that, because I do both manual therapy and energy work, and stress is one of the biggest reasons why people are in pain. So it would be a disservice to only talk about the practical stuff. I want to
Right.
do everything that I do in my daily life to stay well. And it would be a disservice to not be honest about every single thing that I do.
I agree with you, and you can have it both ways. My blog posts mostly will point folks back to my courses and my masterminds, but I also have affiliate links within my blog. So there are some folks that land on my blog that may never click through to a course or a mastermind, but they'll click through on an affiliate link. I might talk about, well, just like now, I might talk about lighting for a Zoom call. Because again, I'm all about freestyle living, and I might say, oh, when I travel, I can do my Zoom calls no matter where I am. That's my freestyle life. But I have to have some sort of a portable light so that my Zoom calls, so that I show up in my Zoom calls. And here's the one that I just purchased, and have an Amazon link back to, a ring light. And as a matter of fact, I'm using this as an example because I did this once, and I had something like 50 people bought the ring light. And I got a commission.
If you send me an affiliated link to that, I will definitely look at it.
Well, again, I just bought this off of Amazon, and I created my own. If anybody doesn't have Amazon, let me give you the sweet spot. If most of us probably purchase from Amazon already, but if you scroll to the bottom of your page, there's a place there where you can get an Amazon link, an affiliate link. And once you have that affiliate link and you blog about anything that you've purchased off of Amazon, you can bury that affiliate link underneath that sentence in your blog. And then if anybody clicks on it, it goes through your affiliate link over to Amazon. And here is the sweet spot. Not only do you get paid on that item if they buy it, you get paid on everything in that particular order that they clicked through and bought.
I've noticed that because I already have an affiliated partnership. And when I look at what people bought, there's stuff in there that I have no idea what it is.
Right. And so that's the sweet spot with Amazon, is because once they click through on your link, then because Amazon is nothing but a big search engine. So once they click through on your link and they say, and Amazon is good for this. Amazon will say, people that bought this ring light also bought this green screen. They bought this microphone. They bought this stand. They bought, next thing you know, the people are like, yeah, I'll buy that. And oh, and while I'm here, let me get my toilet paper and paper towels that I always get from Amazon. And oh, and I need this from Amazon. Next thing you know, they've got a $500 order, and you get paid commission on all of that because they click through on your affiliate link. So that's the sweet spot with Amazon. And so go and now here's a hack for those of you that are on the call. Amazon kind of, because again, there's all this algorithms, just like Facebook and all of these big companies. They kind of know who you're affiliated with. So find someone in your circle that does not have the same last name, does not have the same address, is not often on your Facebook with you, and have them click through on your Amazon link to keep your Amazon link active, and you can click through on their Amazon link to keep, and it helps them. So it's somebody else, like in this group, let's say, for example, Sally and I could have each other's Amazon links, and that way we could keep our Amazon links active, because you have to sell so much every so many weeks to keep it active. So we could do something like that and get away with it. And what it does is it helps each other. So you can team with somebody. That's kind of a little hack, but they have to be what Amazon calls arm's length. It can't be you can't do it with your husband because that kind of shows up as the same address and that sort of thing. So I don't know how arm's length it needs to be. Like my daughter and I thought we might try it, but because we're oftentimes on social media together, we figured that wasn't arm's length enough. And so I actually hooked up with one of my mastermind members, not with Sally, by the way. Sorry, Sally. But I did hook up with one of my mastermind members, and we do order off of each other's affiliate links. And so, Christine, if you have somebody in your circle that you're working with, that either an upline or a downline or somebody that's a client or whatever, you can help them out by using their affiliate link, and they can help you out by using your affiliate link. Is that helpful?
That's
Is that
brilliant. I
hack?
never thought of that.
Yeah. So that's a good hack. Who else do we have? Carolyn. Oh, Carolyn is in the chat. She said, I don't have a blog and just trying to learn about them. I'm an artist in Columbus, but beyond that, trying to make sense of my aging phase, 74, and how to make this next phase purposeful and meaningful, and the quest to find that. So yeah, I get it. I get it, Carolyn. I'm chasing you. I'm right there. I'm chasing you in age. So I understand completely. Sometimes it's hard to know at the very beginning what it is you even want to do with a blog, or how. And so, you know what? Don't worry about trying to monetize it. Don't worry about trying, just start. Just start, and you will get clarity. Starting comes first, clarity comes second. And so just start writing, and all of a sudden you'll kind of fall into the groove of where your heart is, and it'll go from there. Okay. So that's my tip of the day. Who haven't we talked to? Lisa, how about you? Would you like to share?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this platform. I'm so glad to be joining today, and I felt like I find my place of having my sisterhood, if I may say so.
Good. I'm so happy.
I'm just starting. I don't have a website yet. I don't have a name. I want to write about cultural events. I am a globe trotter. I've been to 30, 40 different countries, and I have a full-time job, so I don't know if I could dedicate a whole lot of time. But by myself, I work as an IT project manager. I have to do this for a living. But in the past, I have taken different training. I've of course studied business IT, but I also studied interior design. So my what I really want to do is that I want to be an artist. So
Okay.
yeah, but I have to do a full-time job for a living. So
Okay. Do you have a name yet?
the site, no, I do not. I want to write about cultural events, and I feel that I could render my future audience, prospective audience, some different views about cultural events, not totally the mainstream. So no, I haven't gotten a name.
Okay.
But
Now,
I was-
again, this is not carved in stone. And so, and throw it out if you don't like it at all. But the first thing that popped into my mind was my designing life.
okay.
Something with designing, because it goes with who you are, not just what you do.
Mhm.
And when you're talking about the culture, all of that is about designing.
Mm-hmm. About travel, about
So
cultural.
it would be a lifestyle blog. And so again, I recommend that once you list everything that you want to talk about, that you take that 50,000 foot view and try to come up with a name that you can write about a lot of things. You don't want to put yourself in a box. You don't want to call your salon all about nails and then want to hire a hairstylist.
But how to monetize is my main interest, and I love to write, of course, but I'm not really doing this just because I have nothing else to do, right?
Okay.
So how to monetize it? I thought of some things. Give me your thoughts on that. Of course, affiliates, and of course I thought about writing ebooks, and then that's also a type of affiliate, just leading people to check out my ebooks, for example, right?
Yes, you could absolutely do that. You could create courses, you could create masterminds, you can create ebooks. It's all kinds of things you can create. You can sell actual products. There's all kinds of products that you can either, and again, if you travel a lot or you're working a lot, you don't want a garage full of candles that you have to package and ship out every time somebody buys one. So there is drop ship companies where you can advertise something, and if somebody clicks through and buys it, it goes directly to the drop ship company and they drop it right to your client and you get paid the commission for it. So there's all kinds of ways that you can monetize. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you where to find some information in our course. Christine just recently purchased the course. I don't know if Christine's had a chance to go through it yet, but I'm constantly adding more content there. And so, Lisa, I will show you that before we sign off today.
Sounds
So
good.
you can see all the different variations on how you can monetize.
Mhm.
Me, how about you? Are you blogging already?
Hi, Kathy. No, I'm not blogging yet. I am in the process. I got laid off. I work in IT as well. I got
Okay.
laid off, so I have time on my hands right now. My interest is I like to write short stories.
Okay.
So it is not really so much product related, but I want to try to think about how I can use that on a blog or something uh, to make money, basically. Same thing, how to monetize that.
Well, you could self-publish as much as you'd like, and then point your blog over if you wanted to self-publish, for example, on Amazon, which is the largest search engine out there. If you wanted to self-publish there, you could point your blog over to your author's page on Amazon, and you could talk about your book. Now, here's something that I ran across the other day, and it was the best thing ever. I have a group also called the Ohio Writers Guild, and we interview a different author every month. And I interviewed this gal who had written this this book. It was a novel, fiction, a piece of fiction work, and she self-published and she's on Amazon. Well, she wanted to keep the excitement going with her book because she did this big launch and had quite a nice following, and she was afraid that it would drop off if she didn't keep it going. And so she did a little different twist. Her characters in the book are blogging.
Oh, okay.
Her characters in her book are blogging.
That's a nice twist.
Yes, her main character is the blogger.
Sweet.
And it's keeping the story going.
Yeah, nice twist.
That was a very nice twist. And it keeps her audience engaged. And they can't wait for the next book to come out because they are still connecting. You know, I don't know about you, but have any of you watched a serial type show on, say, Netflix, where it's had, 10 episodes or something, and you don't want it to end because you're connected to those characters and you're like, no, it's the last one. I don't want it to end. I got to find another series because you want to kind of stay involved in the story. And so this was her way of keeping the story going. And her audience now can't wait for the next book to come out because they're following the main character in her blog post.
Very cool.
Yeah,
the
so
other
that's how
thing,
she's monetizing.
that's very interesting. The other thing is, I don't know exactly how to go about or where to find information on potential estimate as to what I can make monetarily, how much I can make. Like how many hours work.
Depends on how you're monetizing. And I'm just going to give you one example. I have a membership site. Okay, now follow this. I have a membership site and it's $25 a month to join the membership site. And because I'm on anyway, talking to however many folks I'm talking to, it doesn't matter whether I have 5 or 25 or 125. It doesn't matter. I still do the same presentation no matter the number. And so $25 a month, let's say that you need $3,000 a month basic income. I'm just pulling a number out of the cloud. So if you needed $3,000 a month and you divide that by your $25 membership fee, you only need 120 members to have a $3,000 a month income. And so with 25 members, because it's a membership site, your membership is like one person might cancel, and then a couple of people might join, and somebody else might cancel and join. And so your income goes like this, instead of if you're selling a big product, yeah, hold on. So if you're selling a big product, you either sell it or you don't. You either make the money on the product or you're dry because nobody bought this week. And so your income, you're either saying, oh, I'm going to go celebrate because I sold this, or I haven't sold any for a couple of weeks, I'm now starving. So your income is all or nothing. And in a membership site, it levels off your income in here. It's a couple up, a couple down, you know, and it gradually over time, it just gradually keeps going up. And so I encourage everyone to think about creating some sort of a membership site. That is a perfect way to monetize your business, whatever your business is. And think about it like how many of us sign up to go to a fitness center? And again, statistically, we see this all the time, that everybody signs up right after Christmas because we all decide we're going to lose weight. We're going to get ready to be in that swimsuit in the spring. We're all going to go work out, and you know, the gym is packed with people in January and February, and by March it starts to drop off. But we have good intentions and we're going to go. So we don't cancel our membership because we think, I'm going to get there. I just need to get my schedule. And next thing you know, 4 or 5 years go by and we've paid that $20 a month all that time, and maybe we've used it a lot and maybe we haven't, but it's a membership site. And that's what happens if you have a membership site. Now you have to constantly be bringing value. You have to make yourself available. You have to actually work it like a little business, but it is a business that you can work from anywhere in the world. So for those of you that are traveling, it's something that you can do from anywhere. And there's all kinds of ways, and you can research, you know, how to do that. Anyway, here's what I want to do. We've heard from everybody except for Deb over in the chat. Deb, how did you want to share, or did you want to come up and share? I'll click to bring you up if you want to, or you can just put in the chat if you want to share. But I want to share my screen, and I don't want to overlook you if you want to make a comment. So I'll just give Deb a moment there to see if she wants to comment. Okay, she's declined to come up, so that's fine. I get it. I'm going to share my screen, and here's what I want to show you. So for those of you that are watching from home, and I have to kind of move all of our stuff out of the way here. This is the homepage of my website. So you can find me under kathybenner.com. You can see that right here, kathybenner.com, or the Kathy Benner International Academy. Either one of those brings you to this homepage. So this is what I want to show you. Once you get to this homepage, then you're going to scroll over here to the More button, and here is Authors and Writers. If you click on the Authors and Writers, it brings you down to our bloggers group. I've got the Ohio Writers Guild, and then I've got the Newbie Bloggers. Here is the course. If you click on the Newbie Bloggers course, it'll bring you to everything we've been talking about. And we'll scroll down. Here is the 6 steps where you can pick a blog name, create your blog online, customize, how to write and publish, how to promote, and how to make money. And then when you scroll on down, you can see that we have a ton of articles here under picking your blog name. It's 13 ways to find your passion, 3 questions your blog must answer, the #1 tip for a successful blog, and then to get online, how it works, the 15 top blogging platforms, how to start guest blogging. Anyway, it goes on and on and on, and you can come all the way down. And for those of you that were asking, here is Make Money Blogging. Choose and implement streams of income and the bottom line. Now, right after that, I put an extra section in here on ways to make money. And so this is for you that were asking. You can do display ads. If you get a large enough readership, companies will pay you to advertise on your blog. I am now getting requests from folks saying, we'd like to advertise, we'd like to sponsor your blog, we'd like to pay you money for you to mention us on your blog. Okay. So that's one of the ways. There's private ads. This can just be companies, you know, like Sally and I, we could advertise on each other's blog post if we wanted to. And it's up to you to put together, you know, your little marketing sheet. If any of you have ever been in business before and somebody comes around and they say, oh, do you want to buy a business card size ad for our calendar or to be in our program? It's $25 or whatever. You can do that. You can put together a little ad sheet and you can pay, you can charge people to advertise them on your blog. You can do giveaways and reviews. You can have sponsored posts. You can do affiliate marketing. Then I put here the 7 Amazon affiliate mistakes. And then, of course, we have a whole wrap up here on future blogging. But there's all these ways that you can create and monetize your actual blog post. And one of the ways, too, is that you can create courses. When I blog, I point folks back to this website, to the courses. And again, I'm just scrolling back to the top. So I let folks tap in here. I always have to move you guys can't see it, but I've got our faces in the way here. So here is the KathyBenner.com, Kathy's story, health and wellness, real estate, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and then under the more is the authors and writers, networking and connecting. You can join our speakers cabinet. I actually have a speakers page here where it says Kathy speaking topics. I actually charge to be a speaker, so I can blog about that and monetize that. So there's all kinds of ways that you can monetize the blog. Is that helpful for everybody to see that there's all kinds of ways you can do that? And you can just sell products too. If my granddaughter, she's 16, she's selling candles. She has a little blog site, 3-page blog site, and it's called Gigi Farms, and it's all about her candles. And she's making, I don't know, $1,000 a month selling candles, and she's 16. Now, she loves making the candles. She goes to the store. She buys all the stuff. She's, you know, their kitchen looks like a candle factory. And she's got shelving. Her dad put shelving up in their garage. And she then pours these different scents into her jars. And then she has them. She bought these cute little labels. And she has all of this like a little candle store along the side of their garage. And then when somebody orders, she physically has to go out, put it in a box, label it, and ship it out. And so it's work on her part. But you know, what 16-year-old is working from home and making $1,000 a month? Now there are several, I'm sure, but you know, she's my mini me. So she's actually monetizing her blog by selling actual product. So there's all kinds of ways you can do that. Okay, questions, comments. We're coming up on the top of the hour. Yes.
This is neat. That's very cool. You mentioned about that Ohio Writers Guild. Is that your organization or is something else?
Yes. That's another one of my lanes. We have a free meetup, I have a course, and we have a mastermind.
Oh, okay. So that's your business as well.
Yes.
That's very cool. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Everything you saw on that website is mine. The real estate, the networking, the writing, the entrepreneurship, all of that. Those are my products. Those are my free meetups, my courses, and my membership sites, my mastermind membership sites. And anyone that joins a mastermind, you get 2 for the $25. You can pick 2. Like a lot of folks will pick the bloggers and the writers, the Ohio Writers Guild as their 2, because the Ohio Writers Guild is how to get published.
Okay. And is that set up? I know you had that tab for the entrepreneurship. Is that set up like a business, or is that also like a nonprofit?
With Build a Better Business, we've got a Build a Better Business program. It can be for profit or a nonprofit. It either one. It's just how you set it up at the front end as to whether it's going to be for profit or a nonprofit. And I have a nonprofit as well, so I can help you with that if you want to start a nonprofit.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this has been very cool. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other questions before we go? comments. All right. What was your biggest aha? Sally, did you have an aha moment today at all? Sally's my co-host and has been with me for a while. So, and she might be on a phone call because I heard her taking a phone call. Linda, how about you? Did you have an aha moment today?
I was trying to look back through my notes, but I couldn't do it quickly enough. I felt like I was learning so much. I missed Christine's description of all that she's doing. I lost my internet and I missed everything she said until I was able to get back on. So sorry to miss out on that, Christine.
Now, this is being recorded, and if you go to the kathybenner.com or the Kathy Benner International Academy, you can scroll down and click through any of the free meetups and listen to all of those recordings. They're all there, uploaded for you to go back and review at any time. What it does require is I'm on a platform called Teachable, and Teachable does require you to register for a Teachable account, but it's free. And then you can click through on any of the free replays. Carolyn says her aha was to start writing and clarity will come. Yes, yes. Start first, clarity comes second.
I did have an aha also, which was when you were saying, don't write about what we do, but who we are. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that creates such a wonderful thread through everything if we go from that point.
I agree with you. And here's what I want to tell all of you that are listening. You will start out as one person. And as you continue to blog and connect with your audience and start to build this thing, you will become a better person. You will become a better person. And the only thing that I want to say is to always extend the grace that you would want someone to extend to you. And when somebody comes in and comments on your blog and it feels a little negative, it is an opportunity for you to give them a little bit of love. Don't be offended and go, oh, I can't believe they said that about my post. You know, and there's going to be folks out there that are going to try to rain salt down on your parade, you know, anytime you post anything, no matter what you post. You know, you could say the sun is shining and they're going to say, well, but it's not as bright as it was yesterday. So no matter what you post, they're going to say it's going to have a negative connotation to it. It's your opportunity to give them a little love. And let me tell you why. Folks are watching. The rest of your readership is watching, and how you handle some of those negative or negative feeling kind of comments is what will cement your readership to you. When I get I'll call it a bad review on my guest house, I get excited because it's my opportunity to show the rest of my viewers how I handle that. Is that helpful? Okay, anyone else? Any aha moments from Christine or Damien, Lisa, Nee? I don't want to put anyone on the spot. Any aha moments today? Your biggest aha moment?
Lot to learn.
There is, but again, it's a process, which is why I put it into steps where you come up with your blog name first by listing everything you want to write about. Then you decide what platform you want to be on, because you have to come up with what name you want. So when you finally decide what platform you want to be on, you want to go for the domain name. Well, if you decide your platform and you don't have your name yet, you can't save that domain name yet. So that's why the name starts first, and then you find your platform so that you can purchase that domain name. Then you get to customize it to meet with whatever it is that you're doing. You know, Sally wants hers to look like travel because is all about travel. I want mine to look like freestyle living because I'm all about freestyle living. And then we talk about you're starting to write and to get published. And in the mastermind last week, what we actually did is we went from start to finish. I started because in the month of August, we talked all about uploading, you know, and publishing your first blog post. And so I actually broke down on a blank sheet of paper, Here's where you start. You've got this blank sheet of paper. How are you going to write your blog post? How many words should it be? How can you make it look interesting? Should you use bold? Should you capitalize here? How many paragraphs should it be? And then we went from there over to how do you actually upload it into your platform? And then how do you customize it and make it look like the rest of your blog post? How do you put your links in? What kind of a picture? Where do you find your pictures? Should you take one? Should you buy one? You know, where do you find your picture to go with your blog? And we went through from start to finish. And I started with a blank page and ended up with a posted blog post at the end of our mastermind call. And so that's the kind of stuff we do in the mastermind group, is that we actually do hands-on how to get your blog published. But anyway, from there, then we're going to talk about then how to promote it, and then finally, how are we going to monetize it?
I
Yes,
have a question. Yes,
yes.
sorry to interrupt.
Lisa.
So how do you protect your intellectual property? Your writing is your property, right? Your blog. So is it something that we need to be thinking of?
Yes, in the actual blog platform, when you click on a platform, there's going to be a copyright in the footer. And we talk about that on the months that we talk about platforms and choosing a platform. We talk about having your terms and conditions and having your copyright right in the footer of your platform.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any aha moments from Damien or Christine? Nope. This has been a lot of fun. I love that all of you tapped in today. So please, please, please mark your calendar. We're going to use the same Zoom code every month that we come on board. And so mark it on your calendars. That way you don't have to try to search for it and find it. But we are always the first Friday of every month, unless there's like, I don't know, is there any holidays that ends up wiping out the first Friday? I don't think so. Mondays usually is the day that holidays wipe out. So we're the first Friday of every month. So mark your calendar. We're here at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And next month, we're going to be talking about, let me see, in October, we're going to be talking about writing and publishing. So we're going to be talking about that blank page and how do we find our material to write. And I have a lot of tips and tricks and hacks for that as well on how to get started, because sometimes we think we have a lot to say until we sit down in front of that blank paper and then we're like, I don't know where to start. And I'll show you where to get some templates and how to make it your own and how you can, start with a little bit of an outline, so that you're not just looking at a blank page to get started. So we're going to talk all about that next month. So tap into kathybinner.com or the Kathy Binner International Academy. And again, just know that I'm on the platform of Teachable. And so if you want to click through, Teachable will ask you to create an account, but it is free. And once you are into Teachable and have an account there, then you can scroll and look at all of my free stuff. Every single one of my lanes has a free meetup, so you're welcome to attend as many of those as you'd like. And then the courses are there. And if you decide to join a mastermind or one of the master classes, be sure to know that you don't have to buy the course and the mastermind, because the course comes with it if you buy the master class or mastermind, and you get 2 for the price of 1. So
I didn't see that on your website till after I bought the course. Because I was thinking about joining the mastermind.
Okay, if you want to do that, what we'll do is you can join the mastermind, and then I'll give you 2. And then once you do that, I'll just give you a refund for the course.
That sounds good, Kathy. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. So connect
Thank
with
you.
me. Yeah, connect with me. And I'm going to actually put my email in the chat. So if anybody wants to make a note of that, if I can type here.
Now, Kathy, when I was, you know how I first couldn't log into the course because I accidentally used 2 emails. Before you reached out to me and I tried to email you about it, the emails were failing. I kept getting failed delivery and stuff like that. The fact that you reached out to me first is the only reason I was able to contact you over email.
Okay, good to know. I put my email there in the chat if anybody is interested, if you want to get in touch with me, if you have questions. And Christine, yes, we have been emailing. So let me know if you want to do that and you register for one of the masterminds, because I will then manually go
I
in
would
and
rather do the mastermind. Yeah. And then have the
Okay.
course too. Absolutely.
yeah, because the difference is like $100
So
between
if
the
I just, if I
mastermind.
just go on there and register for the mastermind, will you know and automatically do the refund?
It will tell me, so I'll watch for it since I know you want to
Okay,
do it.
thank you. No,
Yeah,
I
I'll
appreciate
watch
it.
Kathy, I
Perfect.
have to jump off.
Yes,
But,
Sally, thank you.
Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and enjoy yourselves.
Thank you, Sally. Happy traveling.
Thanks.
Thank you,
I won't be
Kathy.
going anywhere for a while.
All right. Deb said she's still working while she's listening. Deb, I'm glad you're with us. Thank you for being on today. All right. Well, if there isn't any more questions or comments, I think we're going to go for today. Thank you again so much for being with me, and mark your calendars that first Friday of every month, and email me if you have any questions or you want to chat with me one-on-one. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. So with that, we are going to go and have a great, great, great weekend, holiday weekend. Enjoy your families, and we will see everyone next time.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.